Hi everybody, hope you're well. So this video was requested by Pi360. So she asked if I would do a video about question center management. And I was having to think about this, and I thought, well, if you're somebody that's in the later stages of your EC, perhaps looking at the mini-series that I did on managing the prestige of your EC would actually be probably one of the better videos to look at. So I thought I'd look at this in a slightly different way today. So this video, I'm actually going to be setting up my EC for the first time on the AU server because I'm over 20 days of seniority now, so I can set it up. So I thought we'd talk about it in kind of the, when you're setting up, things that you want to consider that are going to affect how you manage it in future. So here I've got a manage your equestrian center. You would like to have your own equestrian center welcome many boarders. Now is the time to go into business. So creating a equestrian center is a great way to interact with other players by boarding horses, growing crops, and organizing competitions. So create my equestrian center. So your equestrian center, you're starting out in the exciting business of managing an equestrian center. Congratulations! To ensure you make the best decisions for your equestrian center, we suggest you carefully read the manual on managing your equestrian center. So obviously, if you're totally new to this, that's quite a good one in there. There's lots of stuff in there about all the different parts of it. My mini-series kind of covers quite a lot of that, so maybe that would be something to have a look at if that would help. So in order to get a good start with your equestrian center, we've given you 25,000 equus, then that will be added to your reserve. You will also receive a small workshop. Make good use of it. So first off, we have to name our equestrian center. So I'm going to go with the one that I use for every equestrian center that I have on my different servers. So the next thing is the location. Now this is something that we're really going to think about, and we're also going to really think about speciality, and there's reasons behind this. So whatever location you pick, your boarders will progress twice as fast on their rides depending on the location of your equestrian center. So for example, if I was doing forest rides with a horse in a forest EC, those rides will complete twice as fast. But if I was in a mountain EC doing forest rides, it doesn't. It's not going to be twice as fast. So obviously, if you're somebody that does mountain rides, maybe more than forest rides, then you're going to want to maybe go with a mountain EC. Or maybe you do forest more, so you maybe want to go with a forest location. Or maybe you do beach a lot, so maybe you want to go with beach. Also, the other thing to bear in mind is forest. In the forest, you can collect wood. In the mountain, you collect iron. In the beach, you collect sand. So these are a couple of the different parts of this that you have to take into consideration. So each location is tied to a certain type of resource that you will gather when your boarders complete missions, which is those three resources there. So then the location is final. So once we've picked a location, we cannot change this. There is no way to change where you have decided to put your EC. So that's one of the first things we really need to consider. So obviously, if you're making this EC and you're going to use it yourself, then you maybe want to use it and think about how it's going to best suit you. So if you do a lot of forest rides, obviously if you do a lot of mountain rides, if you do a lot of beach, you're going to pick whatever is your personal preference there. The other thing is, if it's not for you, who are you aiming it at? And what rides are they going to be doing? Are they going to be doing both? If they're doing both, then you're going to have to pick one or the other. I mean, it's kind of a case like for blupping, really the only rides you need for blupping are forest and mountain. Beach is more about moving skills. Forest and mountain are about adding skills. So if you're somebody that's going to aim at blupping people, probably forest and mountain. Maybe for skillers, maybe you want to go with beach. But skillers still need to do forest and mountain. So those are a couple of things to take into consideration just in there. So I think I have a forest EC on UK. So I'm going to go with mountain because I want to just pick something different. And I always find when I'm blupping, I'm doing forest and mountain, so one ride's going to take longer than the other anyway. So I'm going to go with the mountain in this particular instance. Now, for speciality, this is another thing that you have to be really keyed into. So depending on the chosen speciality, you will not be able to organise same competition. So obviously if you pick classical riding speciality, then you can only offer classical competitions. If you pick Western riding, then you can only offer, Western competitions. Now, one of the things that I have found, but it might just be a UK thing, classical is a lot more popular in UK than it is on than Western is. So I find that it's much easier to get rosettes in classical riding than it is in Western. So one of the things I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go and have a look here on AU, and I'm going to go look at the best equestrian centres. And what I'm noticing at the minute is there's kind of equal amounts of forest and mountain for start, but what about the classical and the Western? This is kind of more what I'm concerned with. So these have quite high prestige. There's 91 to 97 in prestige. If we look at the Westerns are a little bit lower. We've got 95 to 70. That's quite a big difference. So that would indicate to me that classical ECs are probably more likely to, do better on this server. So I'm probably going to go with classical on this, because Western's just not getting the same kind of prestige. Now, there can be a lot of different contributing factors to that. It's not necessarily said that Western is the weaker of the two, but it's basically, if more people are choosing classical ECs, they're more likely to be choosing classical competitions, and therefore my competitions in classical are probably easier to run. So that's why I'm going to go with classical riding. So I'm just going to put Twilight Stud on EC in the text box of the presentation. If you want to make something fancy, you can. I'm not going to. So we've chosen mountain, and we've chosen a classical. Now, if you want to be, I'll go maybe with a bit of more challenge. Maybe you do want to go Western and do better Western EC than most. I mean, it's something that I have on UK, and it takes a bit more work, but it's rewarding. So I'm just going to make my life easier on the AAU server. So welcome to your new Equestrian Centre. Congratulations, you're now the manager of the Equestrian Centre Twilight Stud in EC. Start now to make it bigger and prosper. So go to your Equestrian Centre's management. So these are the different prestiges that I talked about before. So you have these 5 different prestiges, and then they eventually affect the overall prestige. That's why I said there's kind of like 6 overall, because there's the 5 that contribute to the last one. So if you haven't seen my mini-series on these different things, I talk about each one of these individually. Definitely go and check that out, because it will help you the best way it can. Now, what I do when I start Equestrian Centres, I don't actually open them up for boarding. I don't provide boxes. I go straight to my meadows. That's where I spend my equus when I first start. So let's go and see if we can get... I don't have enough to get a large meadow. I wonder, do I have enough if I have a look in here? Let's see, sell items. I probably don't have enough yet. No, I didn't think so. Right, we're going to have to go for a slightly smaller meadow size, but that's okay. So let's see. I'm going to go with a medium meadow. I'm going to buy that. And I'm going to put... I don't know if I have enough to get a... No, I don't have enough to get a feed trough. Right, we can't get a feed trough, but I'm going to put some longhorn cattle in there. And I'm going to leave those. And what I eventually will do is I'll build up my equus slowly by doing that with the longhorn cattle. And then eventually I'll go and get myself some big meadows, put the feed trough on them, and then do more longhorn cattle over and over and over again until I can sort of build that up. Because I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make, and I did it whenever I first started, was throwing everything into boarding horses. The truth is, boarding horses does not make you money with an EC. I don't think I've ever found it profitable, because even if you're charging 200 per night, if you're offering 3-star tack to them and they stay for 1 day or 3 days, you've put a couple of thousand into that. You don't get a couple of thousand back. So I think really the economy inside Equestrian Centres is a bit rubbish in that respect. So I always think it's better to go and put your money into the crops when you first start out. That's my honest advice whenever you first start an EC. The best way you can manage it is put money into crops, keep harvesting those crops, planting more, just slowly growing it, that it's building your profit over time. And then whenever you have a large amount, and you will have seen this if you've seen my USA videos, once you start to get a couple of million going, it's really easy to start kitting out your EC. And not bothering, with the 1-star, just going straight to 3-star big boxes, because then you don't have to, spend money on 1-star boxes that aren't really worth the time. If you're looking to just try and get the prestige up as quickly as possible, you're better taking longer at raising your money and going straight for the 3-star boxes. If it's not something that you're really worried and you just want some boxes, there's nothing wrong with 1-star boxes. But if you're looking to raise the prestige overall, then you want to go straight to the 3-star. But wait until you have the money to do it. Wait until your meadows are good, big meadows, and you've plenty of them, and you can plant as many crops as you want and so forth. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you to Pi360 for requesting the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye guys!